Hi, I'm Dana, and every few weeks I have something happen to my house that has me like, I'm actually not at all equipped to live alone, I'm absolutely fucking everything up, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, I don't know how this is happening, and I can't do this, and somebody help me, and oh my god, I shouldn't be doing this. And it's quite a spiral, and it's quite terrifying, but also logically, I know that it's all fine and that I'm actually I'm messaging my agency, I'm messaging the man that comes around and fixes things, I'm getting things in place, I'm getting things planned. I am realistically managing absolutely fine. But also, my bath is sinking away from the silicone and I'm slightly convinced it's going to fall through the floor. My gutter's gone to shit, so I'm getting water damage because there's just water pouring down the outside of my house when it rains. I am actually quite concerned and panicked in various ways. And don't get me wrong, it's still so much nicer than before I moved. You know, like at least I can go for an actual nice walk, at least I can go to all my little clubs that I've been going to. Like, it's definitely a lot better. But I have these little spirals, and so in order to make myself feel better today, because I noticed new water damage and I've had like a little time, I haven't enjoyed myself much this morning so far. It's panicked me quite a lot. See, that's the thing, is I'm aware I'm drinking coffee, but I have so far only had one coffee and it was quite a little while ago, and this isn't caffeine induced. This is how I get when I'm like absolutely panicked and I'm like I have 73 million thousand thoughts and it's all a bit much. So to get myself over it and to like hopefully feel a bit fucking better and pick myself up for the rest of the day, I wanted to talk about some of like the perks and highlights and upsides of living alone as an autistic person, because a bunch of it's really fucking rough and I could really use some sort of actual fucking support rather than just being left to exist as though I'm a normal person when frankly I'm fucking not, you know? But for the most part, I am managing decently well, and it's a hell of a lot better than any other living situation I've had thus far. So a lot of these, to be fair, are probably going to be based on like, I had a horrible housemate and now this thing doesn't happen. But that's just how it's gonna be. I hope that some other people can relate. I hope that it maybe gives some other people like a little bit of hope, or you can like have your perspective changed a little bit and be like, oh, this is actually quite nice, thank you. Because I'm not all about like, change your mindset, man, just stop being depressed and burnt out by thinking happy thoughts. Like, I know that's not how it works, but also I've definitely like, even in my like hardest of times, been able to feel a little bit better about things by just trying to like look at the silver line and look at the upside. At least I have this, you know? It's not perfect, but it's better than now, isn't it? So the massive number one for me, honestly, is I think one of the big things that's meant that I am a lot more regulated since I moved is that I can just stim freely. I don't have to consider if someone else is in the house. I don't have to consider if someone's gonna like walk in on me, if someone's gonna hear me, or like any of it, you know? I can do crazy, see, that's the thing, I'm always like, I do like crazy little dances. I mostly like run on the spot. Like I do like a big like jumping run on the spot, and I like that a lot. I jump around. Like it's barely dancing, you know, but it's the kind of thing that like my family would have walked in on me doing and been like, what the fuck are you doing, what's going on, you look ridiculous, why are you doing that, stop thumping around, just, like, Jesus. And I would have been really embarrassed by it. Similarly, I think if my housemates had walked in on me doing that, they would have similarly been like, wow, you're a freak, don't do that. So it's something that I've been doing definitely like a lot more than previously, and I think having those like big body movements do like, it's massively regulating for me. It's something that I tend to do before I go out and when I get back in, or like before I have to like make a phone call, and afterwards, like when I need to hype myself up for something and then regulate myself afterwards. Doing like big full body stim to music is incredible. It regulates me so well, it gets me so prepared for things. It's absolutely amazing, and it's something that I felt so nervous and embarrassed of doing, and like in some of the places I've lived flat out couldn't do, because it's like I'd have to do it in my bedroom and my housemate is literally below me. Like, I'm not going to be the dickhead that's jumping around in my bedroom, you know? But even to like as someone who experiences a lot of pain, rolling around on the floor and just contorting in some weird fucking positions like some sort of like really budget yoga is massively helpful for me. It's the kind of thing I'd be like, no one can ever see me do this. No one's gonna see me do it. Making noise, making sounds. I do a lot of noises. I'm a louder person now that I live alone in a lot of ways, because I've been able to unmask a lot more and be able to like stim more freely, and it's been so lovely and so regulating, and I think it helps me like just so much in the day-to-day and in the long run. And it's just something I never ever, like, even when I had like technically had the opportunity to do so, I've so rarely felt comfortable actually doing that while having housemates and while like just living with other people. Like, it just felt very, if it didn't feel rude to them, it was just embarrassing for me, and it just wasn't comfortable, it wasn't nice, it wasn't regulating, because it had all of those extra emotions tied to it. And I now have a whole host of stims and things that I do that are super regulating and don't have any sort of like negativity accompanying them, because no one's gonna walk in. Like, if someone walks in my front door, we've got much more issues than them seeing me do something embarrassing. You're like, why are you breaking into my fucking house? Living in a house that is also only decorated by me, with my things in my aesthetic, with things in the way that I like them to be and in the places I like them to be, has been absolutely magical, because I've never had that in my entire life, ever. You know, like, there's always been somebody else whose opinion I had to take into account, and like, fair enough, that's what it is to live with people, you know. Like, I don't intend to be like a disrespectful asshole when I have to live with people, but it is such a massive bonus of living alone that not only can I put my things wherever the fuck I want them, no one's gonna move them, no one's gonna touch them, they're not gonna like ever move or break, or like, everything is in my control in that regard, and it's so nice. And it's another way that I'm like really quite strongly able to accommodate to myself, because like, if I keep walking into something, rather than having to go to my housemate and be like, oh, this bookcase, like, it'd be really useful if it could move somewhere else, and then being like, well, just don't walk into it, Dana. I can just fucking move it, you know? And being able to put things exactly where I want them, and being able to leave them there, in regards to like I'm doing a little sewing project at the minute, so I've got like my embroidery hoop and things over here, and the actual thing I'm sewing, and my sewing box over there. And it's the kind of thing where like, I could have gone into the living room and sat on the couch and done my little project. When you live with someone, you then have to pack it up and take it back into your fucking room, because that's the respectful thing to do, because you live with someone, and fair enough, but fuck me, it's annoying. And oh my god, it's lovely to not have to do that. It's lovely to be able to leave my things around and not have to like constantly think of tidying up for someone else. And I think also because I never felt like the housemates I had were doing that for me, you know? Like, there were so many things that I did because it's the respectful, nice thing to do when you live with someone, and they sure as fuck weren't following through. So it's one of those where like, being my own housemate, I'm considerate of myself, and I still like, you know, like, I still tidy up my messes, I still try to keep things looking nice, I do my dishes, I, you know, try to maintain my fucking house, and it takes all of my energy, and it's pretty much all I do, but you know, I do it, and I like it, and it's a delightful feeling to be like really truly doing it for me, and not for a housemate, and not to be respectful of somebody else, and to keep somebody else in mind, and blah 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 blah. And it's also the thing of like, speaking of like doing like crafts and being creative, and like specifically like doing the things I love to do, I feel so much more like able to do stuff and so much more creative, and I have so many more ideas now, because it's the thing of like, yeah, sure, I could have taken things into the living room and sat down and done it there. I then have someone be like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing it like that? How's that? Like, blah, 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 blah. You know, asking me all these fucking questions. It's like, I want to watch my show and do my craft. Like, I understand that part of living with people is that you have to like speak to them, but also like, I don't wanna, you know? I don't wanna. Being able to have like anytime I don't want to fucking speak to someone, just stay in my house. I don't have to speak to anyone. I can go for a walk in a place where I'm not gonna have to talk to people. And like, because my last housemate, their bedroom was where the front door was, every single fucking time I left the house, I either had to sneak past them while they were asleep, or I'd be on my way out and they'd be, oh, where are you going? What are you doing while you're there? What time will you be back? When are you doing this? What about... And it's like, especially when I was running late, and it's like, we've now had like an 8-minute conversation when I needed to leave 5 minutes ago. Can you just shut the fuck up and leave me alone? Why are you being my keeper? Like, fuck off. But like, I'll give that was a unique situation, and my other housemates weren't to like the same degree, but just not having to let people, like, not having people asking me any fucking questions, and not having to explain where I'm going, not having to tell people I'm going out, that I'll be back at this time, all of that is so lovely. Don't get me wrong, there is a level of safety, and like, I understand that I'm a female living alone, so like, but that's the thing is, like, I tell my friends, like, I'm going to the cinema now, I'm going to go out and do this thing, because it's fun to tell my friends and keep them like updated on my life. It's not I'm not having the thought of like, this is a safety thing so that people know I am and what I'm doing, and know to be worried if I haven't said anything in 8 hours, but it also, like, that's not what's on my mind when I'm doing it, you know? Like, I do appreciate that extra little like safety blanket, because it's also a thing of like, my online friends aren't like one of them's my guarantor, you know? It's not like they'd be like, oh no, what's happened to Dana? They know my address, they know my phone number, like, they're very real friends despite having met online. But you know, like, questions are a demand, and I don't think I have like the worst pathological demand avoidance PDA in the world, but I definitely have some levels of it. So as soon as someone starts asking me questions, I am like, fuck off. Why do you need to know? Why are you fucking why are you interrogating me? Like, at least, like, do it like Gene Hunt and be a bit funny about it instead of just asking bland question after bland fucking question. And also, like, I'm 25 years old. I can leave the house at 7 p.m. without getting a fucking 4th degree. Like, even my parents didn't care that much when I was a teenager. Like, come on now. A perk that I'm only just unlocking, and that actually might not be that much of a perk, because as soon as I bought it all, I was like, I don't think this is my safe food anymore. But being able to, like, really fucking stock up on food. Like, my fridge is filled with the stuffed pasta things from Lidl at the minute, because that is the only place that does, like, vegan stuffed pasta. I did find out that I actually only really like the mushroom one and not the spinach one. And I bought an equal amount of both, so that actually does kind of fucking suck. I think I'm gonna have to, like, freeze them or something until I'm, like, in the mood again. But just having the option, sometimes when I can afford it, to buy a whole bunch of my safe food. Like, I have, like, fucking, like, 10 blocks of tofu in my fridge right now, because tofu is one of my go-to things where, like, you chop it up, you stick it in oven, you've got a high protein snack, you've got a high protein, like, bit of your meal. Like, I find tofu quite versatile, and I like the flavour and the texture and stuff. Like, it just really works for me as a safe food. Being able to just get fucking loads of it in and not having to worry about taking up too much space in the fridge. Like, obviously, like, I only have so much fridge, I do have to, like, think about that, but I'm not having to think about it in the way of, like, I have one shelf and a half because my housemate needs the other half of the fridge for their food. You know, like, again, fair, respectful, I get it. I don't have to like it, and it's a massive perk of living alone that I can just fill up my fucking fridge with my safe foods and be like, I'm sorted. I don't need to fucking go out or do anything for, like, the next week, you know? And similarly being able to have full cupboards, because, like, especially in my last place, I had no fucking cupboard space. I could barely have any dried or, like, tinned food. And being able to, like, yeah, like, if we go to war and start getting fucked over in that way, or, like, have a doomsday situation, I'm still just as fucked as I was before. You know, like, 3 tins of soup and getting me that far. But in a week where, like, I'm super low energy and don't want to actually make anything but really need to eat something, having 3 tins of soup is lovely, you know? Having 10 blocks of tofu is a delight. I've got a whole bunch of the drinks that I like, thanks to, I think it was Elaine on Amazon. Sorry if I've gotten the wrong name, but thank you very much for getting me those. Being able to, like, have things stocked up like that is gorgeous. I adore it. Another major perk is that I no longer have a, like, curfew, essentially. My neighbours over to that side are quite, like, far away, so they, like, I don't think they can really particularly hear me. It's very rare that I can hear them, and when I do hear them, I feel like they're being quite loud. And it's like, I'm not hearing them being super loud, I'm hearing them, like, being quiet, but it's a loud sound that I'm hearing quietly, if that makes sense. The neighbour on the other side just isn't about that much, and I only hear them when they run up and down the stairs, so I'm guessing they only hear me when I go up and down the stairs. So things like I could film a video at 3 a.m. if that's when the mood strikes me. I can do, like, within reason, like, obviously, like I said, I stim with music, so, like, if it's 1 a.m, I am probably going to wear my headphones and not put the speaker on. I am still going to try to maintain, like, a general respectfulness of the people that have to live around me, but also, like, I can talk and do, like, my vocal stims. Like, none of my vocal stims are super loud, so I can do all that kind of thing at night. There's not, like, the time when I have to start walking quietly and speaking really quietly, and I can't film videos anymore and I can't watch anything too loud. Like, that is a thing of the past. I can, you know, like, within reason, make as much noise as I want at any time of day or night. And it's another of the things that, like, it's not that big a deal, but for some reason it just lowers my anxiety so much. It just makes me feel so much more regulated to know that, like, I can do what I want when I want, you know? Like, it just makes life feel so much easier and nicer. Even, like, I had a bit of, like, almost a fear of having baths because of a situation with my first housemate where I'd gone for a bath and he tried to just come in, and like, you could see the light under the door and I had music on. It was very clear that I was in the bathroom, and he just tried to come in anyway, and it was pretty fucking weird of him, in my opinion. And then he screamed at me, like, voice breaking, you know, the way that men, like, really, like, when they're really angry and their voice is, like, going to shit because of it, did that to, like, screamed at me through my bedroom door about how selfish and, like, ridiculous it was of me to go and have a bath. And, like, being able to be like, oh, it's late at night, but I want a bath. Oh, it's the middle of the day, but I want a bath. Because, like, it helps me to feel a lot fucking better physically. I have a lot of aches and pains. And, like, it's things like that. It's oh, this is more trauma related than I wanted it to be, really, isn't it? The vast majority of it is No one's telling me what to do. No one's making me feel bad for existing in my own home. But like, it's fucking delightful. It's so lovely. And like, as much as I did think it was going to be a bit more autism focused versus like the trauma side of it, I feel like it's also probably quite a common autistic thing that like we kind of annoy the people that we live with, whether that's justified of them or not. You know, like I'm willing to give that I don't think I'm the easiest person in the world to live with, but I also put a lot of effort into trying to be easier to live with. And it's really nice to have dropped that effort. I don't have to fucking try for anybody anymore. It's lovely. It's made me feel so much more settled and relaxed. I'm able to relax now is like a massive, massive thing. Like it just, I don't think that's purely from just living alone. It's moving to a place that I really love. It's, you know, like starting to really be able to like heal from like past trauma as well as from burnout, and just, it's an absolute conglomerate of things. But I have days where I lay on the couch and eat snacks and do a little craft project and watch stuff and feel genuinely relaxed, and not like I'm procrastinating or like I'm doing something I shouldn't be, or like I'm just wasting time. Like it's a genuine like, I'm lazing, I'm relaxing. It's fucking lovely. I've not felt like that since I was like 7 years old, having a duvet watching The Sound of Music, you know? Like it's that like nostalgic feeling of relaxing when it's the weekend and you just don't have a single life responsibility. Like I still have many a life responsibility, but for the first time in my entire adult life, I can just push it off until Monday and be like, I'll deal with it when I can deal with it. So yeah, that's the video. That's all I have to say. I'm incredibly grateful and thankful and feel incredibly lucky to be getting to live alone in this way. And like there's still a bunch of fucking hassles and things that I am struggling with, and it's not the easiest thing ever, but it's nice. You know, like as much as the struggles and hard times and difficult things, it's the best that I've had ever. And I don't just think that it's the best that I've had, you know, like I genuinely feel very, very content and very happy and very like, I really did something good for myself with this. And I did sort of think that there would be a point where I'd just like settle in, everything would be sorted. I do think that living in a house that the landlord like hasn't really looked after that much does mean that I'll probably like continuously have little things that do need sorting that aren't necessarily my fault, and I'll feel like they are my fault even though they're not. But we're managing, and I would say that I am at a point where I am somewhat thriving and not just surviving, and it's delightful. It's so lovely. I so deeply hope that all of us can get to a position like this and all of us can feel a lot better and a lot happier and live lives that we don't hate. It's lovely. It's so fucking nice. I so deeply hope the best for everybody watching. So I'm going to round it off there. If you want to see more content about like autism and trauma, you're welcome to subscribe. You can also find me over on Instagram or TikTok. I post a lot of pictures of Yorkshire on Instagram at this point, and I post all sorts of just like things that I think are kind of funny, or like I post on TikTok sometimes. You can also find me over on Patreon or Ko-fi if you would like to help me out a little bit financially. You're very, very fucking welcome to, but there is no pressure. I also have an Amazon wishlist that I link. Sometimes people ask me about if I have one, and it is usually linked down in the box below, so you can find it there. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I'll see you again in a couple of days.